Today, we're going to dive into the unseen work that makes a well-lived life possible for so many people. We're going to explore the incredibly detailed system behind professional caregiving and the person at the center of it all, the direct support professional.
So let's just start with a really big question. What does it actually take to be healthy? For most of us, we probably think diet, exercise, maybe getting enough sleep. But for a lot of people, especially those with lifelong developmental disabilities, the answer is way more complex. It's this coordinated effort that goes far beyond just a daily checklist.
I mean, the goal, right, is to get to a state of harmony where your mind, body, and spirit are all working together. But getting to that balance, that's not a one-time thing. For many individuals, it's a continuous collaborative effort supported every single day by a team of really dedicated professionals. And right at the heart of that team is the Direct Support Professional, or DSP. Now, this isn't just a helper. A DSP is a professional who works to weave healthy habits right into a person's daily life, empowering them to achieve their own best possible health. Okay, so to really get what this work is all about, we need to go beyond definitions and meet a real person. So let's meet Quan Wang. Her story is going to be our guide and walk us through this whole system of care. And this right here is so important. Her official planning documents don't start with a medical diagnosis. They start by describing her as a person. And that sets up the #1 rule of care. You see the person first. We find out she's friendly, has a great sense of humor, and just loves being social. So Kwan's ability to be that happy social person, well, that's supported by this incredibly meticulous system of care. It's this whole framework built on information, on planning, and on procedure. So let's actually peel back the curtain and look at the documents that make this invisible system real and effective. We're going to zero in on 3 key documents here. They're basically the foundation of all of Kwan's support. Each one has its own job, but they all work together to make sure she's doing well. Everything kind of starts here with the physician's report. The best way to think about this is like a current health snapshot. It's the official word from her doctor, it gets updated regularly, and it just outlines her immediate health status. And this is where you can really see how information turns directly into action. Her primary diagnosis, that sets the whole context. The allergy to tomato products, well, that means every single meal, every snack has to be checked. Non-ambulatory, that affects everything about how she moves around. And just look at that diet. It's not a suggestion. It's a specific set of rules a DSP has to follow every single day. Okay, so if the physician's report is the snapshot, then our next document, the health history, well, that's the whole movie. It gives you the deep context of Kwan's entire life story. I mean, this document is so comprehensive, it covers everything from past illnesses to family history. And why is that so important? Because having all this knowledge helps a DSP anticipate what she might need, understand her symptoms, and make truly informed decisions. This timeline just makes it crystal clear why that long-term view matters so much. See that hip fracture from 1998? That's why she can no longer stand for pivot transfers today. The hypertension diagnosis from 2003? That directly connects to the low-salt, no-coffee diet we saw earlier. Every single detail from her past shapes the care she's getting right now. So we've got the snapshot and we've got the history. The final piece of the puzzle is the Individual Program Plan, or IPP. This is the big one. It's the roadmap that takes all of that information and turns it into a real, concrete plan of action for the DSP. The IPP is basically the game plan. It sets clear goals, it spells out exactly what the DSP needs to do, and it even lays out how to tell if the plan is working. But it does something else, something that just completely changes it from a medical chart. It's a person-centered plan that actually includes the individual's own hopes and dreams. All right, now that we kind of get the paperwork, let's see how it all plays out in the day-to-day, hands-on work of a DSP. This is where the plan really meets reality. A huge part of that reality is just basic safety, which brings us to standard precautions. Now, this isn't just a guideline. It's a non-negotiable set of practices, like being super careful with hand washing and using gloves, all designed to stop germs from spreading. For someone like Kwan, these practices are her first line of defense. And, understanding why these precautions are in place is so key. Germs can spread in different ways. You've got direct contact, person to person, and then there's indirect contact, where germs go from a person to an object and then to someone else. DSPs are trained to break that chain, no matter how it starts. And check this out.
This is a perfect example of just how precise this work is. It's not just about yanking gloves off. There is a specific step-by-step way to take off contaminated gloves to make absolutely sure no germs get onto the DSP's clean hands. Every little detail matters.
But this work is so much more than just technical skill. It's all guided by this powerful code of ethics. Principles like respect, confidentiality, and this one's huge, self-determination, which is all about helping people direct their own lives. These aren't just words on a poster. They shape every single interaction, especially during really personal moments. So let's bring this all home. We've seen the documents, the procedures, the guiding principles. But what's the end game here? What is the whole point of this entire complex system? All this careful record keeping, all of the safety rules, all of the day in, day out support, it's all building towards something so much bigger. It's about more than just keeping someone healthy. So, what is the ultimate goal? Remember we said her IPP included her hopes and dreams? Well, here they are. To spend more time with her boyfriend, Robert. To someday work in a pet shop with birds. To learn how to swim. To plan a trip to Disneyland. This is why the system exists. It's the foundation that makes it possible for her to go after these dreams. And that's really the profound truth of this work, isn't it? The daily, unseen, and let's be honest, often thankless tasks of a direct support professional, they aren't just about safety or health. They are the literal building blocks for a life of dignity, of choice, and of real achievable joy. Which brings us to a final question to think about. Kwan's story pulls back the curtain on this whole system of care that's usually invisible. So how can we get better at seeing, understanding, and actually valuing these hidden support systems that empower people all around us in our own communities?